tying your camel was very interesting because it's kind of like Allah's throwing you a ball. And you have to catch that ball, right? But it's interesting, is because when you're looking at the ball, I want you to visualize this for a second, right? When you're looking at the ball coming to you on its way, you see that it's not really that close to you. So if you're standing in a very specific spot, you won't be able to catch that ball unless you move. But you kind of have to move towards the ball, don't you? Right? So let's throw you this ball. You see it's a little out of reach. So you start to run towards it to catch it. And the faster you're able to get to that spot and realize that you have to run to catch it, the more likely you are to catch the ball. But here's another interesting way to think about it. You know how you're in a rush and maybe there's a wedding that you have to catch? Maybe you're a woman, a sister watching this, and you order something on Sephora online, but you realize that you need it way earlier. And you realize that a lot of people are buying this stuff. It's just wedding season, so it might just run out. So you place the order online to pick up at the store, but now you got to drive to the store and go get it. So the order was placed, but you still had to move in order to get it faster. Now, the interesting thing about some of these scenarios is that maybe you could just get there passively. Now think about it, like even in the ball concept, it's very interesting if we really take it to another perspective, is let's say the specific ball that Allah threw you, the specific blessing, the risk that Allah threw you, that you had to move in order to get it, right? But maybe He'll just throw you a ball that you don't really have to move. I mean, these are the conditions, right? That we kind of just self-inflict onto these situations. We're like, you know, I want to do things a certain way. Well, maybe Allah wants it a different way. And until you align with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in terms of taqwa, which is God consciousness, and then tawakkul, which is having a complete feeling inside your whole, because you have faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know that anything He gives you is just a mercy, right? And anything He gives you is what's best for you. So you're so grateful. So you're at ease. You know that whatever's going to come to you is going to be the best, right? And then there's muraqabah, which is your ability to be present with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the interesting one. You get very present with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You become mindful of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you're so present that you see the doors right in front of you. You're like, whoa, this door can get me to my risk. And this door can delay my risk. And this door is demonic. And this door is going to create friction in my life. And this door is going to make things easy in my life. And you start to see all the options in front of you. You're like, now I know which door I should walk through. Because you're mindful and you have taqwa. But it's interesting is you can't really get to these levels unless your nafs is in full control. So wouldn't it be the highest leverage of action for one to be able to catch the ball earlier and identify that the ball is over there and I have to go run and catch it if they had control over their nafs? Interesting. So in order to get your desires in life, you have to be in control of your desires to begin with. Whoa. Interesting concepts. Very interesting things that we're talking about right now. So let's tie this all together really, okay? Is that the first and foremost is that you got to tie your camel, but you got to take action. And in order to take action, you got to move. But in order to know that you're moving in the right direction, you also have to have taqwa and tawakkul and muraqabah. Now, here's a very, very interesting example as well. I want you to think that you're on a river, right? This river's flowing, and when you have tawakkul, when you have taqwa, when you have muraqabah, you're so aligned with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You have so much faith, and you have the intention that's set. So Allah's going to naturally take you down this lazy river because it's just flowing. You don't really have to do any work. And this is where a lot of people get confused. You can actually get to your goals passively. There's actually nothing stopping you from getting there passively. And what I mean passively is like you don't really have to do much. You kind of just set the intention. You feel good about it. You trust Allah. You know what's going to come to you. You continuously pass the test. You stay righteous. And then you kind of just passively go along life and you get to where you need to go, right? So that works. And the lazy river example really tells us that because Allah will just kind of direct our lives and we don't really have to do. We just kind of have to observe and just, yeah, cool, this is awesome, right? Make sure that the boat doesn't crash, right? Maybe you have to adjust it a little bit, right? Some effort is obviously involved, right? Even when you get up and you're going about your day, you have to walk, and it's not. But what I mean is more of just an active energy, where it's like you're actively just pursuing that intention. When you're passive, you're kind of just going with the flow. Now, here's the interesting thing: is you can get there faster if you check out some paddles, though, right? And you're like, you know what? I'm gonna put some active energy behind this because I've already set the intention. I already know that it's gonna come to me because I trust Allah, and I know that if I don't get this one specific thing, Allah's gonna give me something better. I'm gonna touch up on that a little bit too. You just start paddling, paddling. You're getting there a lot faster, right? But here's where things get very interesting. If you have real tawakkul, you have real faith. Wouldn't you put some skin in the game? Wouldn't you be like, yeah, like let me throw some money at this problem. Let me throw my resources at this problem. Let me get other people involved. So wouldn't that be equivalent of having the boat that's going down the river that's already taking you to where you need to go by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? But you're not paddling this time. You invest, you throw leverage at it, and then you buy a jet, and you put the jets on the boat. And now you go through the river, get right to your goals. This is why some people, they're just constantly making these high leverage plays because they trust Allah so much that they put everything that they want or everything they have into what they want, knowing that Allah is going to give it to them in that capacity or something even better because they just trust their Lord and they know their Lord is the most generous, right? Because let's be real, Allah is the most generous. I mean, look around us, right? Like, alhamdulillah, right? This is all mercy from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's not even the physical space. It's me. It's the fact that I can breathe. You know what? It's the fact that I can say La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. It's that fact. That's the biggest wealth. You know, you can strip all this away. If I can say that, that's the money right there. That's the wealth. That's the I felt it, right? Anyways, so interestingly enough, when you put the jets on, you go, 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 go. But you have to put some skin in the game. But here's the real thing. If you truly, truly, truly had faith, like you say you do, that wouldn't even be a problem, right? It wouldn't actually be a problem at all. Would it not be a problem? So we try to plan. We really do. We try to ask ourselves how. And the more we ask ourselves how, we're really just tapping in from a place of ego. Because you see, the ego wants the how, but tawakkul knows the who. Tawakkul knows the who. Tawakkul knows the 99 names of Allah and how infinite He is. And therefore, it doesn't matter how. Allah, it was kind of funny. I'm not going to go into details of this because we're still working on this. I was with a friend and he's like, yeah, bro, like, how are you going to do this though? And what if this happens? I'm like, bro, whew. Relax. I understand you're a very meticulous, calculated individual. Allah my body. Wow, it's a big blessing of yours, by the way. Nothing wrong with that. However, don't worry about the how. We set the intention. We're going to go see this thing now. After we see it, we'll gather more information. And I've set the intention. No interest involved. We're going to be able to somehow obtain this thing through the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Look, if Allah doesn't give it to us, then maybe it wasn't the right time. Or He's going to give us something better. And if Allah hasn't really written this thing for us, it's okay. Ya Allah, increase us in capacity and put it in the qadr, because that thought alone is qadr. The fact that I can say that alone is qadr. It takes a very, very deep mind to understand what I just said, by the way. You can rewind and listen to it a few times. But, everything is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, You think about a thought, but think about who created thought. You think about doubt. Think about who created doubt. You think about belief, but think about who created belief. We live in a world created by such a fascinating, excellent creator. The one, the only, the magnificent, the all-powerful, the most powerful, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Look at who your Lord is. I really think about the relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as a very interesting relationship. And I'm going to explain. We should always ask Allah from a place of wholeness. Never ask Allah anything from a place of lack, from a place of desperation, from a place of begging out of I need this, I don't have it. Because the more and more you do that, you're just gonna push that thing away from you. And there's a reason why. One, you show that you're not fully complete. All right? So why do you need this thing? A true believer, by the way, a true believer in the one doesn't need anything else. We're whole inside. Our faith is our wealth. You have everything. That's what I was saying earlier. What is this? Allah. Allah is one. That's it. One. We're whole. Boom. That's it. period, point blank. So if you're whole, you don't need to ask out of desperation. Ask out of a place of like need. Ask out of a place of lack. No. Ya Allah, I'm so grateful for everything you've already given me. But here's the thing, I would really love this one specific thing, please. And if it's good for me, give it to me. And if not, you know what's best. You're the best of all planners. You're the all-knowing. You're the most generous. You're Al-Fatah. You're the opener. So open the doors for me, Allah. You know best. You see that submission. You see the surrenderance. But you still asked. But why? Right? I want you to imagine like the parent and a child. And let's say, it's a little kid pulling on his mom or dad's dress or thobe or a suit, whatever. He's like, Dad, can I have that Lego set? And if I look at my son, I love my son. And my son is asking me something, this is the most dearest thing to me outside of my Lord. I'm like, okay. But if it's good for him, right? And I'm like, I weigh it out. I'm like, you know what? He's not going to choke on the Lego set. He's going to be able to build the Lego set. He's going to actually be able to use the Lego set. Yeah, son, you can have the Lego set. Here, I got you. But then, if my son isn't ready for the Lego set, I'm like, no, son, you can't have it. But then, what if my son says to me, but Dad, please can I have the Lego set? But now I got to explain to my son that he's not ready for the Lego set. It's like, I want him to have it. Like, Allah wants us to have things. But you're not ready, boy. You ain't ready for it. So therefore, you know what I say to my son? I'm like, you know what? You're not ready for it. But do you really want it? Yes, Dad. Yes, I really, really want it. Okay. So what should you ask me? He said, I don't know. Okay. Let me teach you this one time. Ask me to teach you how to be ready for it and how you can be ready for it and make you ready for it. Okay, Dad, can you please make me ready for it so I can play with the Lego set finally, please? I got you, son. You see how that worked? This is very interesting, by the way. We pay very close attention to what I'm saying. So now, okay, well, before, we need to know that you're not going to choke on it. I don't want my son to choke and die, right? I love my son. I got to know that you can read the instructions. Okay. I want to know that, you're not going to hurt anybody with it, that you know how to play with it. I know that you're going to know how to clean it because, if your mom makes a mess, if you make a mess, your mom's going to get angry. Mom doesn't make a mess, you know what I mean? Well, let's hope not, at least. We like clean people. Anyways, so I want to make sure that you're not going to make a mess, son. So I gotta know that you know how to clean it. Okay, so Dad, once I learn all that stuff, I can have the Lego set? Yes, you can have it. And you see, Allah's going to prepare us the same way that I'm going to prepare my son just now. Now, let's say it's something that's just just not good for you, right? I mean, look like, Dad, can I have a knife? I want to play with my knife, please. No, dude, you're like 5 years old. Be quiet. You're not getting it. When can I? No, just be quiet. You don't get it. So like when I make dua for that person or that business or that job or whatever it is that you make dua for that's clearly not good for you, I would only give it to you. He loves you, right? Like think about this. This is your creator we're talking about. He loves you. He knows you. Why would he give it to you? Just like a parent knows their son, but even more, right? So, if it's good for you, Allah will give it to you, right? And if it's not good for you, then ask Allah to make it good for you. But don't just say make it good for me. Like, okay, if it's really, really good for me, if it's not good for me, then increase me in capacity. Give me something that's good for me, but increase me in capacity. Teach me. Show me the lesson. Show me the test. This applies to things that are actually righteous, right? Like, for example, if you want to make lots of money in your life, you ask Allah to become somebody who can hold on to that money and who can distribute that wealth. That can be good with that money, right? And that's a test. It's easier said than done. I've been faced with these tests in my life. Sometimes you'll see a lot of money at once. It's like, damn, that's a lot of money. I could go buy some really cool stuff with this. You don't think I like buying really cool stuff? Of course I like buying really cool stuff. I have an ego myself. Everybody has an ego. We all want things, but that's the test. And then you think about it, you're like, Allah manifested these du'as for you, because you said you'd be righteous with the bread. So then you have to be righteous with the bread. You have to pass the test. Otherwise, you're just going to take it away, right? It's like, so you give it to your son. You're like, you know what? I'm going to give it to you. I taught you how to clean. I taught you not to choke on it. I taught you to read the instruction. I taught you not to hit anybody with the Lego set, right? Or build anything bad. And then I go and he's doing the opposite. I'm like, okay, you know what? Give it back. You need to learn your lesson, son. What is this? Maybe I might warn him a few times. Maybe I might throw him some micro tests. Like, hey, don't hit your brother with that. But if he continues, I'm like, Give me that back. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so powerful, and the examples are right in front of us. Right in front of us. Very interesting things. But when you embody these practices is what really like allows for you to like really become these people, right? This really allows you to become what you need to be. And that's the issue, is that you can think things, but remember that embodiment is a split-second decision. It doesn't take long to embody something. You know, a lot of people are going to say, oh, I want to do this tomorrow, a day after, a week from now, a month from now. You know, you put these time limits. Why are you putting conditions? Why are you putting constraints? A flip of the switch is just like, I have decided to become this person. That's it. Anything that seems like a counter-intention, I block out. That's it. That's a test from Allah to prove that I am who I say I am, and I'm just going to block this out. I'll focus on it. You know, a good example of this, right? I was speaking to somebody today, and what a beautiful, beautiful example of something so strong in energy. So I say to this person, I'm like, you know, I'm super exhausted. I'm just coming home from a meeting, and I need to get cat food because I ordered a bunch of cat food in bulk, and it's coming on Monday, and it's Saturday today. So, you know, I need to have food for the next few days, right? Or 2 days. Even Monday if the food comes late, right? Anyways, I'm tired. Maybe, you know, I'll just go home. But I'm like, man, the cat's hungry. I gotta feed the cat. I'm so exhausted, right? But something clicked. I said, you know what? The responsible thing to do would be to get my cat food. And it was so powerful. And I'm like, yes, that is the responsible thing to do, because a part of my identity of who I've cultivated myself to be, this reality that I've snapped into, is a responsible individual. So automatically I asked myself that question. The responsible thing to do would be to get my cat the food. Sure, I could go home, rest a little bit, and then go back out. The grocery store was only 5 minutes away. But this was a responsible thing to do. This was just the Guam thing to do, right? If I'm the Guam of my cat, right? Anyways, interestingly enough, a few minutes later, this person's telling me about one of their experiences. And then they said, you know what? The responsible thing to do would be to do this thing. And I'm just like, wow, the synergy there. And it was so powerful to experience that, because we were both tapping into this very strong energy, and it was high consciousness. And this is why your company matters, by the way. Your company matters a lot. The people you choose to be around matter a lot, because when they understand this, they start to cultivate their identities. Like, yeah, like I'm a responsible person too. The responsible thing to do would be to do this. You know, the millionaire action would be this, and the billionaire action would be this. And the good husband action would be this, and the good wife action would be this. And in terms of deen, character, overall, the Prophet ﷺ would have done this. And if you're a woman, you could choose all the women in Islam. They were some of the really cool ones. Fatma radiallahu anha, Khadija radiallahu anha, right? Aisha radiallahu anha, very strong, dominant personalities. Oh, well, she would have done this, and she would have done that, and she would have done that, right? And that's okay. And you start to realize that, like, there's these higher conscious beings, such important, noble figures that our deen, Islam, has introduced us to. We can tap into their decision maker, because we all live in a collective consciousness, whether we know it or not, whether we like it or not, really. It's just how Allah has made it. That's why Noma is just one body. Anyways, I could go on forever. You guys know this. This is just a quick little thought dump for you guys. Some things to ponder on. Watch this one more time, right? Watch it maybe on 2x if you need to. Remind yourself of this, because there's a lot of stuff that was said here that could quite literally change your life and change your reality, right? And one thing I would leave you with is that it seems like this is something that has really clicked with a lot of people, by the way, that I've met recently. And they keep asking me about this. I always say that these negative thoughts, these patterns, scarcity, failure, these things, they don't even enter my reality. They don't enter my mind. They don't enter my consciousness. You know, even like for example, recently on Instagram, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll realize I put a lot of posts out, right? Sharing stories and talking about negative things in terms of haters and stuff like that, right? The only reason I do that is because I like for my story to be told by me, not by somebody who doesn't know my story, right? So I do it as a way to inspire. And you can always take some sort of negative thing in life and respin it and reframe it to tell your story in a positive way. And that's what you got to do. Is you always got to tell your story in a way that you're always winning, because truly you are. Truly you are. If you zoom out, you're always winning. Somehow, some way, those things that you perceived as bad were actually good things. And they brought you and turned you into the person that you need to be today. And if you're not at a peak today and you're going through the hard time, then you're going through this hard time to become who you need to be. This is just a chapter in your book. That's all it is. And I know it's a very simple thing to say. It really is. It's not that difficult. This is not rocket science. But it's very important to understand that your life is your story. And your deeds are there. And your repentance is there. And your salah is there. But also all the decisions you make. Also all the people you meet. Also you're the main character in your own story. Right? And the main character doesn't have to be this crazy, big person. No, you could just be like a very cool, local person if you want to be. You can be a big person if you want to be. You can be an advisor if you want to be. You can hold positions of power if you want to be. You can be a wife who stays at home. You can be a wife that has her own business. You can be a woman that doesn't get married, who has her kids, right? You can be whatever you want to be. This is your story, but you have to remember, is this your highest self? When you ask yourself those questions, you'll get the answers very quickly, right? And then what you want may change. Genuinely, what you want may change, because now you start to operate from a place of, look, I can keep going, all right? But I don't really want to keep going. I need you guys to wait for the next one, inshallah. And I got to get some other work done. May Allah bless you. Please subscribe to the channel. Leave a like. Leave your cognition, synchronicities, downloads, whatever questions you have. I'll try to get to them, inshallah. And even if I don't, I read them. Right? I read everything, all of them. Really, they're fascinating. You guys fascinate me, genuinely. So know if you're commenting something, I read it. Right? Sometimes I just scan through them, like, wow, what an interesting thing, what an interesting thing, what an interesting thing. Even if it's some hate, I'm like, what an interesting thing. But I love you guys, all of you, for the sake of Allah. Anyways, subscribe, like, and I'll see you in the next one, inshallah.